Good afternoon, my name is Caleb Dawe. I am a second year trumpet player, and this is my thinking through music video assignment, so let's get started. Recently, over the last couple of weeks, I've been preparing for my performance in brass workshop, and I had a moment in my playing that all of a sudden, I was struggling, and then it just clicked. I was working on the Kent Kennan Sonata for trumpet and piano, and I was really struggling with this small little passage towards the end of the piece. The notes themselves weren't the issue. I knew exactly what I was supposed to play, what I was supposed to do, what it was supposed to sound like, but it just didn't sound right when I played it. My tone was uncertain, shaky. I couldn't maintain a proper note. It was splitting. I was making all these little mistakes, and it just didn't sound musical, even like in my phrasing in general. And at first I tried to fix this problem by going back to my basics, my technique, focused on the stuff that I was certain on, how I should be breathing, how my embouchure sits in my mouthpiece, was I tense in my shoulders, because I find that I often do that? Was I sitting properly in my chair? Was I standing straight? All these different things. But nothing really worked. And if anything, it honestly made it worse, because I was more focused, hyper-focused on these little mistakes that I was actually replicating them often, and I was being super inconsistent. My moment where I changed, all of a sudden just clicked it into place, was when I actually changed my approach, and instead of overthinking it and overdoing it, I just slowed it down, half speed, and repeated it over and over and over and over again. And as I played, I paid more attention to how, I was breathing, how my face felt on the mouthpiece, if it was hurting, if I was using too much pressure, if I was tense, if I was if my posture was straight, all the things I just mentioned. And all of a sudden, after about 5 minutes of trying this, something drastic had changed, and the section became almost natural, almost not fluent, but you know what I mean. My sound had improved greatly, without me even consciously trying to, control every minute detail. It was like my body had started to understand what to do, before I even really knew what I was doing. And what I really needed was to let my body learn through repetition and physical experience. And this relates to what we've learned in class, the ways of knowing, the body, and making and doing, I believe. The body, it was like I was training myself to know it physically, just muscle memory. In this situation, I wasn't thinking about how I was playing. I was just literally just letting my body, after practicing, of course, just take the wheel. And through this, my breathing was more controlled. I had less pressure. I had more fluency in my instrument, and my body was learning in a way that didn't really need conscious thought, if that makes sense. Making and doing, I believe, is learning through actively doing something, actively playing, actively, instead of just analyzing the music or thinking about it. I improved by actually playing it over and over again and again and again, and each repetition allowed me to make small improvements each time, and through that I was able to refine my sound, and that was how I really improved. And as a trumpet player, these ways of knowing are especially important, because the instrument is so physical tone, endurance, accuracy, all of it's based on muscle memory, fingering, like, etc., etc. Because of this, learning through the body and through doing is essential. And it's not something that you can just develop by thinking about it or reading a book. However, this experience also made me realize that I don't always need to consciously realize the ways of knowing when I practice. Like, I often rely on them without even realizing it. And this moment really helped me become more aware of how much my learning is actually happening through my own physical experience. Like, there are other ways, I know there are other ways of knowing that could support my learning in more situations like this. For example, observation. If I listened to recordings, if I watch someone else play it, they might be able to help me create a clearer idea of phrasing, tone. But in this situation particularly, I already knew all those things. So, dialogue, that's a good one. If I played it for a teacher or another student, I could get feedback and they could try and help me fix what I was doing, like fix an issue on the spot. Scholarly inquiries such as research, like if I've researched breathing techniques, posture examples, and all these things. But overall, this moment experience showed me that learning music and learning the trumpet isn't just necessarily about thinking and understanding. It's about experiencing and physically doing it. And like, some of the most important learning happens when the body just understands before the mind can properly comprehend it. I think that's about it. Thank you.